Momentum Monday. I'm so excited you could join us for our beautiful friend Natalie Baldock. Those of you who got the privilege of hearing from her when she was in Canada know the heart that she has and the mission that she has inspired for all of us, and just the real ripples that she left within our team. So having her on our team call tonight is just an absolute honor. She's on the other side of the world, literally. It's the middle of the day for her. She's going to share with us some of her tips and tricks and her vision and how important having a good why is and the importance of qualifying your business. And I know she's just going to make it a magical journey of whatever comes into her beautiful heart. And we all just get to learn from her because she hosted a call once called Heart Driven Women. And she really has legacied that into all of us as leaders. And I love that we can build our business like business women, but with heart and soul. So I really feel like Natalie has legacied that into all of us. She led the way with that vibration and that feeling. So we get to learn from her tonight, and I'm just going to let her take it away without further ado. So Natalie, thank you for being on our call and sharing with us your heart and wisdom.
Oh, I'm sorry. I love your team. I feel like our team and your team are kind of identical and like twin teams. And I'm starting to see a lot of these twin teams pop up all over the world. And I love that because really the teams that actually have longevity are the teams that have the biggest heart and soul. And when I went to Canada and I got the absolute privilege of working with all of you who were there, but particularly Michelle, Sandy and Barbara, it just completely lit me up. I felt like I had best friends on the other side of the world that I can call on at any point in time. And that's what we do for each other. Michelle's done calls for us before and my team's just gone, oh my God, we love her. So it is, it's the same message. We just say it differently. So I'm just going to run through a few things that I've been doing with some of my great leaders over here that's really imploding, like really exploding their businesses and things are really shifting. So I was just talking before, for those of you who are just joined a little after I spoke about this, there's this feeling that you get in life where you are flowing and everything just working out all the time and you're in this flow. And without any religious connotations, because I'm more of a spiritualist than religion, although I'm 17 years in the Christian church, that feeling of flow is when God is walking by your side and really saying to you, you are on the right path. And the whole journey in Juice Plus is about kind of doing it your way, kind of finding your flow. And there is a tried and proven system, but there's also the way you like to do it. And I'll share my story just briefly, but before I do, I want to talk about that feeling of when we're skiing or snowboarding and you're flying down the mountain and you're feeling so great. When you just are on that chairlift and you're going up the mountain and you're just feeling like, you don't have a care in the world. For me, it's the ocean. I'm in the ocean every day, 2 or 3 times a day, even through winter when it's -degrees. I'll go down and just float in the ocean. And what I love about the ocean and what I love about the mountains is it's always different. It's never the same. The powder's never the same. The ocean's never the same. Water and ice is really a magical emotion. And that's just like our business. You have to discipline your disappointments at times when the weather's not great. And there are other times where it just flows so beautifully. But it's how you navigate through that makes you the greatest of leaders. If you always stay with a very heart-driven point of view when it comes to every single action that you take or make, or anything you deal with your team, you'll always have a beautiful heart-driven business. And this is loving people at the highest level. This is understanding that we're all on different journeys, but we've got the same vehicle. Some will do it the way you do it, and some people will do it differently. So it really is around finding what your values are and aligning with those values so you flow each and every single day. So one of the things that you have, which is amazing, which we're quite secretly jealous of, is your Team Synergy website, because everything you need there you can access, and all the questions are answered in that. And we have our own business model over here and we have our own system over here. However, we all do it slightly differently. And but the rules are really around this. You know, the first step in your business is to get a DVF. The second step is SDVF. The third step is qualifying your business, and then qualifying your business on your own merit. Having enough customers in your bank in case something happens, in case the team underneath you all go to SDVF and the volume disappears. It's really, really, really important to have 30 to 40 customers in your bank. Gives you psychologically a little tiny community that's paying you $500 per month. And I don't know if they're the same figures in Canada, but I think we're pretty much dollar for dollar. But that just gives someone $6,000 a year. Now, $6,000 a year is 3 holidays or an overseas holiday for the family. You know, it's a lot of money. And I've heard once before that someone said to me, you know, this company is so clever, because what they do is instead of giving us $6,000 and giving us tax lotto syndrome, where they give you a big check and then you spend it and then all of a sudden you have to start again, they're so kind, they give it to you every month. They break it up for you every month. And once you qualify your business and you teach others to qualify their business on their own merit, this is when we build a really strong business. But let's not talk about business, because, you know, I built my whole business not understanding the marketing plan. I built my whole business like really just being a free spirit. All I wanted is every time I signed someone up, I really wanted them to go to NMD. I saw each customer as an NMD. Every person I spoke to, I set an intention in my heart that that person would see the same vehicle that I did for their own personal success. And so when I'm having conversations with people and loving at the highest level, I would always have conversations around what lights them up. What is it that pains them the most? And can Juice Plus be a solution for them? And sometimes it's not, and sometimes it is. But always to be listening to somebody's heart and asking those master asker questions over and over again. You know, how are you? And what's going on for you? And, you know, how's the family? And, you know, if you just told me a story about how your husband's lost his job, what would it mean to you if you had an extra $500 a month? You know, what happens if we could take that pain away? What happens if I could show you an opportunity that that helped my family at a time where we had nothing? I'd love to share it with you, and if you're open to it, I will. You know, it's those big questions. Really get curious about what lights people up and what pains people, because between what lights them up and between what pains people, there's a gap, and that's the gap we get to fill. And I'll teach you something beautiful. Most of you would have heard this before, but if you haven't, then this is a real treat for you. There are 6 human needs. It's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and the first need is significance. Now, significance is wonderful because that can be recognition in our business. Significance can be the fact that you get to stand in front of a room and share your story. Significance can mean you're an NMD on stage and getting your moment to shine. So everybody seeks significance. Some people will say, I don't, but you might be the greatest mother on the planet and you are seeking significance. You may want to cuddle from your child, and that is seeking significance. You may be sick all the time and whinging and complaining, and that's seeking significance. So we all seek significance in some capacity. But you know, deep down, most people seek it, and we get to give it in our business in the way of recognizing people and putting people in front of the room and getting them to share their heartfelt story. So that's one of the human needs. The second is contribution. Now, how amazing is that we have a children's health study, we have a business where we get to contribute to people's lives, we have a business that we can leave a legacy for our family, for our friends, for everyone around us. We can help other people to, you know, in a small way or a big way, and it's all contribution based. So that's what I love about you know, contribution and our business, is that if people love to help people, this is a great business. If people want to be significant, this is a great business. The third is personal development. Now, we all know that when you start this, it's a little scary, and we have to go through levels of personal development. We know that creating a team is a responsibility. We have to go through some sort of development there. We know going from, 24 club to 100 club, there is a big whack of personal development that you have to do in that chunk, which is fantastic, because once you get it, you start to flow. Contribution, significance, and personal development are three things that we have in our business. Now, the other one is variety. The fourth is variety. Now, there is a lot of variety. You can go to different events, you can do Facebook parties, you can create your own events, you can go to conferences, you're dealing with different people all the time. There's a hell of a lot of variety. And that's what people also seek as free spirits and adrenaline junkies. Those people that are out there who want change all the time. I mean, I used to say all the time that I was a hairdressing tart, because I would go to a different hairdresser all the time, so I could have different conversations with so many different people. I never stick to the same thing twice, because I don't like certainty. Certainty is number 5. Now, everybody wants a level of certainty. They want a paycheck that comes in that's certain. They need to know they live in a home. They need to know that they're loved. Certainty comes in many forms, but our business provides certainty, especially if we do what is required each and every month and have consistency around that. So this business provides certainty. It provides certainty with community. It provides certainty with paycheck. It provides certainty with education, personal development, everything. So that is number 5. Number 6 is love and connection. Number 6 is love and connection, and this business gives us a hell of a lot of love and a ton of connection. So they are the 6 human needs. Now, if you speak to people in that tone with those things in mind, then you can get anyone to see that this business offers all of that. And people need those 6 things. For people to survive and thrive emotionally, they need those 6 things in an order from 1 to 6. Now, if somebody's first human need is love and connection, they'll get that in the community. If their first human need is contribution, they're going to get that in the community. If their first human need is significance, they're going to get that in the community. But those people all behave differently because they want different things in different orders. However, when you meet somebody, you can talk to them about, wow, this business is an amazing business. We get to leave a legacy. We get to contribute at a higher level. We've got a lot of certainty in our business because residual income provides a check every month, whether we do a little or a lot, it always provides a check. There's a lot of variety in it because we get to change, talk to different people, we get to travel, we get to do this, we get to do that, and, you can talk to people like this and they pick up on all these little things. And I have to say that's how I've grown my business, is really understanding all of that and talking to people and their values. So when I ask all those master asker questions of people, then that's how I language back. And if I'm sharing my story, I drop in the words contribution, personal growth, love and connection. And I choose those 3 mostly because they're my 3 highest values. And because of that, then I'm looking for people that fit my bubble, that fit my mode, that are in alignment with me. So I have to say my 26 frontline, I only have 26. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm very transparent. I haven't gone wide and crazy. Over the last 9 years, I've built one NMD and another NMD, another NMD. Like, I'm slow and steady, but I have a very strong team, a very strong and a very engaged team. We rarely have people walking away from this because we make people feel loved and welcome, and we really work with people until they get off their feet and then they can do it for themselves. And this is just my methodology. Michelle will have a different methodology. Most NMDs do have a different style of doing things, but this is just my way of doing things. So I really walk by someone's side or run by someone's side for the long haul and at least get them to SSC. So let's go back to what's required. First step is DVF. Second step is DVF, SDVF. Third step is qualify your business in your own right. And the 4th step is SC. And Going to SC, from SDVF to SC, is about you recruiting and about having those conversations and opening up to master asker questions and having those deeper conversations. And it's so funny because people go, oh, I don't know that many people. I said, well, I don't know that many people either, but I just talk to everyone I meet. I'll give you an example. This morning, I went to the beach and I met a new guy down there. Paul, he's in his 60s. He was just standing there telling himself off. And I said, hey. And he was like, hi. And we start talking, and we're talking about juicing, and we're talking about detoxing. And he said, I just did a detox because I got diagnosed with prostate cancer and I feel so much lighter. And I said, okay, well, that was an amazing conversation. I said, oh my gosh, I have a juicing buddy down here. And then I took off. Because I wasn't in desperation to talk about Juice Plus with him. I just wanted to make a friend. And that's what Juice Plus is. It's about that connection. It's about making friends. And then when people ask you, what do? You need to have your elevator pitch down pat. You need to say, I work with an international company that shares a whole food concentrate that provides nutrition for those who don't get enough fruits and vegetables in their daily diet each and every day. I was blessed to be gifted this business 9 years ago, and it's given me a life I could have never imagined. I just tell people now that I'm retired. And I'm not retired. I just have a lot of time to go to the beach and make friends because, you know, you can't call it work when you're meeting lots of people each and every single day. You can't call it work. You can only call it social. And that's what our business is. It's extremely social. Once you've made that friend and once they're interested, you just hook them into the system. And you guys have got the most sophisticated system in the world. What Michelle and Sandy and Barb have created for you guys is absolutely phenomenal. And I can be really transparent with you. Like, for me to create a website like that, it makes me overwhelmed because I just don't have that mental capacity. So I utilize the tried and proven system from the virtual office in Australia, and I just refer to that, and I make little videos and I set up Facebook pages, and that's great for me. But you guys have something really magic in that. So we wanted to talk about your steps to success. We want to talk about human needs. Today, we also want to talk about your why. Now, this is something that once you get this, you will change forever. And this is really important. So I want everyone to write this down. Your why doesn't necessarily have to make you cry. Okay, we hear that all the time. But your why has to be bigger than your fear. Okay, so say I'm nervous to talk to somebody. I'm really, really nervous to talk to someone, and I don't want to share Juice Plus because what happens if they're going to reject me? If your why is bigger than that fear, you think, well, how could I not share it with this person? What happens if I'm going to change that person's life? What happens if I'm going to be able to give them their husband back? What happens if he can retire? What happens if he can come home from the mines? That why has to be bigger than your fear. Now, this is going to hurt some of you, and you need to understand it comes from the greatest space of love. If your fear is what you focus on, you're making it about you. If your why is what you focus on, you're making it about them. And that is a great healer. And you have to ask yourself, do you want to be a great healer? Do you want to give the gift of love? Do you want to give the gift of opportunity in the form of a Juice Plus business? Do you want to give the gift of transformation to somebody? I'll tell you something really energetic that's happening here in Australia. There are 5 suburbs in my city that are extremely wealthy. And when we did a pinpoint kind of graph and had a look at where our customers were coming from, they were not coming from the wealthy areas. Our distributor base was not coming from the wealthy areas. They were coming from the medium socioeconomic demographic and the low socioeconomic demographic. Now, the medium socioeconomic demographic are the ones that are just battling on. They've got enough money. They might save a little bit each week. They're conscious with their money, and they make the best distributors, right? Because they actually have a why, and they want to pay that mortgage off, and they want to be at home with their babies, and, you know, their husband's working and it's a bit tight, but they're super diligent. Now, the low socioeconomic demographic, it's like they need it more than anything else, but they need a lot of personal development. So what you're looking for is those medium socioeconomic demographic type people. However, please know that we have team that are in low socioeconomic demographics that have never been on a plane before, and to watch them step on a plane to go to a conference for the first time in their life is one of the most magic feelings in the world, and you can't put a price on that. They may not be an NMD, or they may be an NMD, but if they're not an NMD, that moment they step onto that plane for the first time and arrive at a conference and open their eyes to the most amazing experience in the most amazing hotel with the most amazing people, that is priceless. And you never know who they're going to bring into your team. So let's recap on the why. Your why has to be bigger than the fear. And if you're focusing on your fear, you're focusing on you. And if you're not focusing on the why, it means you're not focusing on them. Do you know how many times I've nearly shat my pants talking to people? Oh, and I've had friends that are big wig corporates, and I just go, this is what I do. And they go, network marketing. And I go, yeah. But you know what? Network marketing has the best products in the world. Network marketing does their due diligence in research. Network marketing is a way to cut out the middleman. Network marketing is a way for us to connect to great friends and build our own tribe. Network marketing is a way we get to be ourselves and be at home with our babies. And then the big wig corporates go, well, I'm tied to my job. They're tied to their stress. They're tied to their heart medication. They're tied to their assets. They're tied to their life. You know, one of the things I've noticed in life lately is the ones that dress very well have no money, and the ones that dress really badly are the ones with all the money. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but I find it fascinating. I live in a beautiful area in Perth, and some of my friends are wearing thongs and shorts. Now, thong for you guys is a G-string, right? But thongs for us is like shoes, just to make that really clear. But, you know, some of my friends, they paid off their houses years ago, and they're hanging down the beach every day, and they work part-time, or they don't work at all, and they're completely retired and super wealthy. And I tell you what, they're wearing the daggiest clothes ever, because the biggest hearts in the world. You know, it's an energy. Anyway, I don't know why I started talking about that. There was a story to that, but anyway, I got a bit waylaid. So we've talked about the why. Now, I don't know if anyone wants to just chime in on the chat and just ask any questions on that section. We'll quickly do a Q&A on that if you want to. I'll take the first 3 questions, and then I want to talk about something else at the end. So if you want to quickly type. Is this good information? Is everyone getting something from this? Is anything just sinking in with someone and they're going, oh, shit. That's me. And there's Maslow hierarchy of needs. Is anyone creative enough to go, oh my God, the conversation could flow like that? You know?
Natalie, you're amazing. Like you had me in tears a couple seconds ago. Oh, geez, you're so awesome. Oh, sorry, I'll put my video back on. But yeah, I just have to say that. But there are some people that one lady had asked, do you have more than one why?
Yeah. Oh gosh, this is something that we need to talk about. Okay. My first why was to get my family healthy, get myself healthy and get my family healthy. Then it changed. This is part of your personal development program. If you stay with the same why for 10 years, you're going to stay in the same place. My second why was to help my friends and family and my community around me. My third why was to build a tribe. To build a tribe of people around me that were like-minded, so I didn't have superficial conversations. I'm just not very good with superficial conversations. I'm straight to the core within seconds. And if people are like, what do you do? And what do you drive? I'm like, what lights you up? They're like, what? How to deal with my conversations, right? So that was my third why. And then it got very deep. And this is when Michelle, Sandy and Barb and I were working closely together. And my fourth why was really around connecting humanity back to food and what food actually means. And so I started my Real Food Leads to Real Change talks, and I started educating on whole food nutrition. I don't do that anymore. That's not what I do anymore. My team, my NMDs are doing those talks now. My now why is to have a residual income to help impoverished women in third world countries. So I set up a beautiful little Facebook page called Uluwatu Magic. It's based out of Uluwatu in Bali, little beach called Sululaban. And there are 13 women there that I've known since I was 17 years old who have become my sisters. You know, we natter away in really broken Balinese, and they're just gorgeous women, but they're in trouble at the moment. So I set up a charity, a social enterprise with the intent to donate to them. And we've created hats and swimwear for them to sell on the mountaintop. And we've got them t-shirts, and we're renovating their massage platform, and we're renovating their little shop. And I've got volunteers coming in from all over Australia. I've got photographers doing photo shoots of the girls in the bathers on the cliff face. And we've got some amazing things happening. And guess what happens when I did this? It shifted everything. So with this spiritual awareness of what I needed my why to be, because it needed to be even bigger, it needed to be a lot bigger, all of a sudden my team started to shift. My entire organization underneath me started to shift again. Because you have to create a why that is bigger than your fear. You have to create a why that is global. You have to create a why that serves you at the highest level for what you were designed to do on the planet in the first place. Now, please note this. Please do not set up a charity or a social enterprise until you are way past an MD. It is an absolute distraction. Okay, I did this because I can afford the time, and I did this because I actually don't have a partner and I have all these hours in the day. Family comes first. Your children come first. Your community comes first. Your business comes, second to all of that. But I have all these extra hours in the evening. So I just been todding away for a couple of months at nighttime, just a couple of hours a week, and I've been able to create something. So my why's got a lot bigger. So yes, you have more than one why, but they evolve as you grow. And Michelle will tell you that. She'll be the first to tell you her why has completely shifted over the last 10 years of being in business. Absolutely. Anybody else?
One more another question I read was, what advice do you give to people that are trying but super stuck and not getting any results?
Okay, I love this woman in America with this, she's got purple hair that comes across here and it's short, Sandy Krasowski or something. She's loud and offensive and really crass. And one day I'm at home and I was really stuck. I was really struggling in my business. And I was like, 6 months, no growth. What's going on? Why aren't the team moving? Why aren't the team? Nothing to do with the team, right? And she gets into the camera on a live video and stares at me like this and goes, if you're stuck, get out of the house. And I just started laughing because I thought to myself, I've been sitting here Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 on my computer trying to be a social media guru. I am no social media guru. I can tell you right now, I have acquired maybe one customer out of 15,000 customers from social media. Do you know what social media does for me? It shows people a life that I'm living. People get curious and I take it offline. But for someone to say, hey, I'd like to order your product, it doesn't happen for me. That's not how I build my business. So if you're stuck, move. Do you know, it's so simple. If you're stuck, physically move. Go out to different hairdressers. Go out and have a facial. Go and join the tennis club. Go join the squash club. Go and join a swim club, ski club, chess club, book club. Go and do things and ask yourself what lights you up. Don't go and do things just because you want to build your business. Go and do things that light you up. Art classes, whatever it is. Make time to meet new friends. Do art for 10 weeks. Then the next 10 weeks do tennis. The next 10 weeks do swimming. The next 10 weeks do term by term and change all the time. And that's create a walking club. Right, every Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. or after school drop-offs, I'm going to walk and put it on social media and say, this is a walking club for women that want to learn about wellness. Do something outside the box. Okay, any other questions?
I don't see any on the chat, but if anybody does want to ask verbally, just unmute yourself because everybody is muted. As long as you know how to unmute. But there is nothing.
I'll tell you a really funny story. I have got 2 distributors in Perth that have built their whole business off Tinder. Now, don't laugh, because I thought this was ridiculous. But on Tinder, they were really honest. They're like just seeking friends, not seeking a relationship. And they just go on these friendship dates all the time with all these people, continuously catching up with people, and built an entire leg in Tinder. Now, I'm not saying go on Tinder. What I'm saying is that there's a million opportunities out there for people, but sometimes when we sit in our house and say, it's too cold to go out, I can't be bothered, I don't want to go here, I don't want to go there, it isn't going to grow unless you move. And if you want to do it on social media, you need to get savvy and you need to have conversations and you need to start liking pages where you can support. Does everybody know Gary Vee? Gary Vee is a crazy coach in entrepreneurism. He invested in Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and made millions of dollars, like millions of dollars. Now he coaches people on how to become entrepreneurs and he's brutal. But Gary Vee has a business partner in Australia called Kerwin Ray, and Kerwin Ray is my coach. I pay an exorbitant amount of money actually to be with him and him to coach me in business. And his top tips for social media is live videos every second day and solve a problem. So think about your target market. Your target market might be mums that want to stay at home with their babies. And you write your little thing and it says, make a little flyer and say, are you a stay-at-home mum? Are you a mum that wants to be with your babies? Chime in live at 7 p.m. next Wednesday night. Put it up every second day on your Facebook, right? Or pin the post. And then at 8 p.m. on the Wednesday when you get on your live, your title is, do you want to stay at home with your babies? And then you just get on there and talk about how you're able to stay at home with your babies. Don't talk about Juice Plus. Just say, so many mums, and I'm feeling you, and I want to know if there are mums out there that actually are really scared to go back to work because they don't want to be away from their babies. I was that mum too. I really want to hear from you. And then just let them feed in and share your story around how you started an online business and you're able to work at home with your baby. Now, if someone's sick, you can say, does anyone have chronic pain and has never been able to find a solution? Get on there and share your story. Or if you're a chiropractor, talk about, reduction of inflammation. Do you want to reduce the amount of inflammation you have in your body? I have 5 top solutions. I have 5 top tips, 8 p.m. next Wednesday night. So every second night, that's adding value. Also on social media, you want to like heaps of pages that you're interested in. If you've had cancer, if you've been sick, if you've had candida, and you go onto those pages, the cancer support group pages or the candida pages, and you share your story with them, but you do it in a way that you don't talk about Juice Plus. You say, oh, I'm just reading this post and it's touched my heart, and my top tips for getting past this, blah, blah, blah is blah, 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 blah. And if you ever want to have a chat, feel free. And just reach out. And people will private message you because you've added value. So Kerwin Ray says, add value, add value, add value, add value. Do it 7 times before you drop anything in there about selling anything. But my tip to all of you is don't sell anything on social media. Just be a source of inspiration by showing them the life that you have, and add value. And that creates curiosity, and then you take it offline and go and meet them face to face, heart to heart. If they're somewhere else, do a Zoom so you can see their face. Okay? And that's the answer to that question, I think. Has anyone else got any other questions? How much time have we got, guys? We're doing an hour or half an hour?
We usually do a half an hour, but I mean, we'll take what you'll give us. I can listen to you all night, Natalie. So, I mean, if anybody wants to hop off, they can. I'll be here.
Well, what we'll do is we'll just open it up to questions then, because what I'll do is I'll honour the time and I'll do another 5 minutes with you all. So if anyone's got any probing questions now, for those of you who are sitting there absolutely petrified to ask a question, I want you to ask a question now, because this will change and shift you in your business like you would not believe. And please don't be frightened of me, because 9 years ago, I was you on the other end of this call in the same place. And I've just grown because of this business. Can you why be for yourself?
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'll just,
Sorry to interrupt you, Natalie. First of all, I mean a comment. Hopefully you see that. I feel so eternally blessed and grateful that I'm on this call. And I actually tried to get on at 8 o'clock and I felt like such a moron because I said that I was early. But it's funny how you say about if you're stuck and struggling, then get out of the house and move. I'm going to a paint night, which I'm totally not creative at all. And I don't really know a lot of people in Stony Plain other than the Juice Plus people that I've met. And I feel blessed about that. So I'm going to go paint tomorrow night and meet new people. And a couple people on Facebook actually reached out to me and they're like, oh, I'm new here too, let's get together. And so I paid the fee, and so I'm getting out there. And my hope is that I'll be able to just ask questions, right? Because they're moms too. So thank you for that.
Sabrina, just make friends.
Mm-hmm.
Just build trust. I mean, people only buy from who they trust and who they love. How many times have you walked out of a store because the girl in the store didn't even acknowledge you and you went, I'm not buying anything here? How many times have you been to a restaurant and someone was rude to you? Not that it happens in Canada, but I'll tell you what, the worst service in the world is in hospitality in Perth. It's terrible. But, you're like, I don't even want to pay for this. That was, they're so rude. But, I'll give you a great example, Sabrina. I nearly got fired from my job when I was 26. I worked in a fitness store selling fitness equipment. This man came in with a daggy pair of thongs on and a pair of stubby shorts. It's a brand of shorts in Australia that all the tradesmen wear. And he had on we call them wife beaters. I don't know what you guys call them, but just a singlet. And all the team split up and just went, we don't want him. He looks like he's got no money. But I walked straight up to him. I spent 2.5 hours talking to him. Then my boss came over to me and said, come here. And he said, excuse me, I just need Natalie for a second. He whispered in my ear and said, you're wasting a lot of time and you are going to lose your job. I said, trust me. And he said, okay, you got 10 minutes. Anyway, I said to the man, look, I've got another client coming in. It's been so beautiful chatting to you. Can I help you with any equipment? And he said, yeah, can you give me a $20,000 package? So I sold him $20,000 worth of fitness equipment. And that was the biggest sale the company had ever seen. The thing is, people buy from who they love and who they trust. I never tried to sell him any equipment. I wanted to get to know the guy. He just told me he went on a holiday with his wife because he'd been sick. And I wanted to know about his illness. And I wanted to know how his heart was. And that's the thing, is don't go to this art group and start talking Juice Plus and don't ask questions on that first point of call. right? You got to get to know people and have permission to ask questions, you know?
Oh, don't worry. I won't ask questions. I won't tell them about Juice Plus right away, just because I really, it's hard for me to step out of my comfort zone, and I understand that, you know, those are meant to be smashed. But I mean, it's even hard for me to like talk to somebody at a grocery store. But I mean, I'm trying, right? And I guess we have to all take baby steps. I'm gonna like cry. I'm sorry. But yeah, you've just touched me so deep.
Oh, honey, do you know what? There was a woman that stood on stage a couple of years ago. The girls will be able to share this story with you in more detail, but she was a recluse in New York City. I think it was New York. She was a celloist or a violinist. And it took her 8 years to get to NMD. But when she first started the business and the product, she couldn't even leave her house. She was that frightened. And then she went to the newspaper stand and she bought a paper. And then the next week she bought a paper and said, hello. The next week she bought a paper and said, hello, how are you? And then she went from there. She built this amazing NMD business. Your why's got to be bigger than your fear, Sabrina. Okay? Your why has to be bigger than your fear for all of you. It's the only way to build a business, right? Because you're going to get knocked down. People are ugly. People are not nice. But who cares? We've got each other. I don't worry at all. I just think I got my whole Juice Plus family and there's thousands of us. I tell you what, you know, the crew's amazing. I'm pretty lucky, you know. I don't look at what I'm losing in one person. I'm looking at what I'm gaining in the world. Somebody asked, can your why be selfish? Of course it can be selfish. It can be for just you. It can be just for you. But if it doesn't become about a global mission, you won't grow a global business. So as you're growing initially, it can be for you. I just want myself to be healthy and my family to be healthy. That's a great selfish goal, right? But as you grow a little team and as you grow more customers and as you get to that point and you feel like you're stuck, you need to grow your why bigger. Stuck means two things. You're not moving and you haven't grown your why bigger. Okay. I'm only 20. Okay. Oh, okay.
I absolutely love your authenticity. And I'm wondering when you're going to come back to Canada to train us.
When I'm going to come back to Canada, when they ask me.
I'm asking.
It really is about what, you know, it was what the leaders wanted and what corporate wanted. And there are so many amazing leaders around the world that we have to be shared. So, you know, I'm working in New Zealand a lot at the moment. I'm doing lots of stuff with them. But, you know, that's up to everybody else. You guys can come to our conference in June. Anyway, I'm gonna let everyone go now because it is late. It's way past, you know, it's 9:30 plus. I am so grateful and honoured to be a part of your call tonight, and I love being a part of Canada because I feel you're all very similar to Australia. And stay true to yourself. Make sure your why is bigger than your fear. And start asking those good questions of people to get those great answers so you can fill their void and make their life magical.
You're amazing, Natalie. Thank you so much for your time. I know there was a couple more questions, but like you said, we are kind of coming over here, but I know everybody's enjoying it. So like I said, I could be here all night with you. But
what is the time, darling? Because if we stop the recording, I can answer those questions quickly.
Okay, she just said she's 21 and she feels like she has a very little story to share because her story is just happening now. And she finds moms don't particularly want to hear what she has to share because she's still just a big kid herself. Do you have any advice for how to approach people out of your niche or how to help inspire people in my age range to care about wellness? Most of the people in my life are currently university students.
There's a book called Dorm-Based Business. I would read that. It's a network marketing business about a whole bunch of kids in university, how they built their business from university. That's a really good book to read.
My boyfriend.
And also, too, the other thing you need to do is to be honest. I'm only 21. I don't know much, but what I do know is the way I feel when I'm with these people. It feels right. And when I'm on this product, it feels right. And when I'm working with this company, it feels right. And maybe you need something that feels right. Any other questions? Was it one more?
Everybody's just thanking you so much. I encourage you to read the the chat because there is. I will end the recording now. Thank you everyone for being on here. 1 second.